Welcome to late night episode of my live stream. It's called My Journey to the Trinity, talking about what it's like to be an ex-Muslim and to learn things. But it's not just about. I gotta make sure that I say, I'm a Christian, and it doesn't matter where you came from. What matters is who you came to, and I came to Jesus. That's all that matters. Everything else is secondary. But I had some responses from my cousin. It's the same cousin who always responds to me to my thing about Aisha, where she said that Muhammad struck her in the chest because he says he was very angry with me that I was saying that Muhammad hit his wife. And they said no, he was very angry. He said, "Give me proof." I did. I gave him two passages, one from Sunan al-Nisa'i and one from Sahih Muslim, where Aisha says that Muhammad hit her in the chest and it caused her pain. And I'm going to show you these passages again for those of you who are interested. But I presented everything. Look at the video yesterday if you want. Ahlin, welcome, Amir, Musabbah, Firas, welcome. But he got mad at me, so I just want to play some of the stuff that he said. These are some of the things that my cousin. He always sends me messages, and he sent some stuff today that I'd like to respond to. Okay, so some of the stuff he said was pretty. He's got some good questions. So let me go ahead and play it.
جبت الحديث إن الرسول ضرب سيدنا عائشة رضي الله عنها عليه الصلاة والسلام. طب في الحديث بتقول عائشة ضربني، في نص في الحديث بيقول انها ضربني. طيب وشوف الحديث هذا اللي وديت لك اياه الكيس، شو بتقول عائشة؟ حديث عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت: ما ضرب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم شيئا قط بيده ولا امرأة ولا خادما إلا أن يجاهد في سبيل الله.
Okay, so let me go back.
وما نيل منه شيء قط فينتقم من صاحبه إلا أن ينتهك شيء من محارم الله فينتقم لله تعالى.
Okay, so this is that was his first message. He was talking about a passage in another hadith where Aisha does say that Muhammad never hit any of his wives and never hit anyone. Let me see if I can find that for you real quickly here. I can go ahead and read it to you. It says it was narrated by Aisha, and this is in let's see, which book is this? Sunan Ibn Majah, and this is also considered Sahih. It's considered Sahih. It was narrated that Aisha said the Messenger of Allah never beat any of his servants or wives, and his hand never hit anything. Okay, we can show you hadiths that show that that's not the case. And but anyway, this is what Aisha said in that hadith. And you know what? The problem with that, and let me go ahead and show it to you, just so that I can go ahead and he proved. And it's a good thing. I'm happy that he is looking at this. That I'm happy that this is bothering him. I'm happy that this is bothering him because it should bother you. It should bother you that the man that you are trusting with your eternal soul hit his wife. That should bother you. So I'm happy that my cousin is so bothered by it that he went and looked it up and tried to find out what was going on. And he found this hadith. And he found this hadith that I'm going to show you right now. Okay. And let me see if I could pull it up for you so I could show it to you. I got so many things going here that sometimes this is the word that is used in the hadith in uh, uh, let's see, Sunan Nisa'i. It says that Muhammad lahazni, lahazni is the word. Lahazni means to shake. And you know what happened? You know what? I really wanted to respond exactly to what he's saying. And so I wanted to play actually what he says and then respond to it as he says it. Just because he's I'm not sure if you can hear it really good. I was kind of hoping that it would be a little bit louder. But let me play the next.
انت طريقتك بتقول الحديث ان ضربها اوجعني فقد اوجعني. طيب هو ممكن يعني انها اوجعها هي، عارف كيف؟ بس انت ما قلتش نص الحديث او ليش صار هيك او شو السبب او.
Okay, he's saying there, for those of you who don't understand the Arabic, he says that I didn't say the hadith, I didn't say the reason for why he struck her, whatever you want to say. But I did. I showed you exactly the hadith. I read to you the hadith. I put the whole thing here yesterday. I read the whole thing for you. What happened is that, Muhammad went out of his house or his tent. And, let me just go ahead and read it to you again, just, to show it to you. It says, let me just read it to you. It says, Aisha narrated, should I not narrate to you about myself and the messenger of Allah? We said, yes. She said, when it was my turn for Allah's messenger to spend the night with me, he turned aside, put on his mantle, and took off his shoes and placed them near his feet, and spread the corner of his shawl on his bed, and lay down till he had gone to sleep. He took hold of his mantle slowly and put on the shoes slowly, opened the door, and went out, and then closed it lightly. I covered my head, put on my veil, tightened my waist wrapper, and then went out, following his steps, till he reached Baki. He stood there, and he stood for a long time. He then lifted up his hand 3 times, and then returned, and I also returned. He hastened his steps, and I also hastened my steps. He ran, and I ran too. He came to the house, and I also came to the house. I, however, preceded him. I entered the house. Then, as I lay down in the bed, he, the Holy Prophet, entered the house and said, why is it, O Aisha, that you are out of breath? I said, there is nothing. He said, tell me, or the subtle and aware one will inform me. I said, Messenger of Allah, may my father and mother be ransomed for you. And then I told him the whole story. He said, was the darkness of your shadow what I saw in front of me? I said, yes. He struck me on the chest, which caused me pain. And then said, did you think that Allah and his apostle would deal unjustly with you? She said, whatever the people conceal, Allah will know it. So, I read this whole story for you yesterday. He says that I didn't provide the context. There is the context. That's the whole story. That's the whole story of what happened. And in the middle of this, Muhammad struck Aisha, and it caused her pain. It caused her pain. And I showed you this. I showed you where this was. And, this is like, what does this word lahazani, what does that mean in the Sunan Nisa'i? It says lahazni. What does that mean? It says here lahad. It comes lahad, oppress, beat, push. This is the Arabic English dictionary. Another one says, now this is another guy says that the word is a bad translation here. The word is lahaza, which could be translated push, and at most a no with an open hand, but not a hard, violent slap. And note, translating it as a slap is a weaker and less probable. A correct translation, he says here, it's like a slap with an open hand. But you know, the main thing about it is, regardless of you know how you whether it was with his finger, whether it was with his fist, or whether the main thing about it is Aisha said it hurt me. Falhadni. That's the word, falhadni. You know, and and so regardless of what word you use, what matters is that Aisha said it hurt her. So whatever Muhammad did to her, it hurt her. And so anyway, that was the context. He said that I didn't say the context. So I just wanted to play that for you, just because to show you that I did play the context.
انت طريقتك كيف بتقول الحديث ان ضربها اوجعني فقد اوجعني. طيب هو ممكن يعني انها اوجعها هي، عارف كيف؟ بس انت ما قلتش نص الحديث او ليش صار هيك او شو السبب او كيف الفكره، او بس انت ركزت على ان ضربني والحديث بكل ضربني.
And he's saying here that I didn't tell the whole context of why he did it and everything like that, as if there could be any justification for hurting his wife. But he's saying that I didn't tell the whole story. I just read the whole thing for you. I just read the whole thing for you. And so, you can't say that I didn't tell you what was in the story. I told you, I read the whole thing for you, told you exactly why it happened. I told you what he did. I told you what happened and why he did it. And so to say that I didn't say it, is really, and here is the Sunan Nisa'i, what it says about this. فأخبرت الخبر قال فأنت السواد الذي رأيت أمامي. This is Muhammad talking to Aisha, and she said قالت نعم فالهدني في الصدر لهزة أوجعتني. He, how are you going to say? He shook me, a shaking that hurt me, or he pushed me, a shove that hurt me, or he hit me. Usually they translate it, he struck me, or he hit me. So, this is what is, I'm not making this stuff up. This is what's in your books, and, I just want to continue with this. Let me just...
بتقول الحديث إن ضربها أوجعني فقد أوجعني. طيب هو ممكن يعني إنها أوجعها هي، عارف كيف؟ بس
he says maybe it hurt her. Well, that's exactly the point. It hurt her. That's exactly the point. That it hurt her. Muhammad hurt Aisha. That's the whole point. Now, whether he did it with a stick, whether he did it with a fist, whether he did it with his finger, whether he did it with a slap, he hurt his wife. And that's consistent with the Quran, chapter 4, verse 34. But to say that I'm lying for saying this, I'm reading to you your own hadith. And, let me just show you, some more. I wanted to, let me just read, I don't want to, I don't want to just keep reading the same thing over and over and over again, and this was, I showed it yesterday that, that this is the main word here. Oja'atni. Oja'atni. And, what does that mean? What does that word oja'atni mean? And if you know Arabic, oja'atni means it hurt me. Waja means pain. And so Aisha is saying that Muhammad hurt her. Now, then you come up to, here it is, You know, I know that Google Translate isn't the best to translate, even though it is pretty good. I like it. But, you know, here's what it says. Oh, Jackney, it hurt me. It hurt me. So, anyway, I think that you just got and I'm happy that you are looking into this. I'm happy that you want to find out about what I'm saying, that if I'm right or wrong, and that you're looking into your own books. If you look into your own books, you're going to find out these things. You said yesterday that I present hadiths that you never heard of. Well, that's why I'm showing you, because I want you to know about Muhammad, the truth about him. And and then, um, let me go ahead and play for you his next clip.
وطريقتك في نص الحديث يعني ان اوجعها كانك باكي هناك وشفتها كيف توجعت وتألمت وحزنت عليها وشفقت عليها يا شيخ حسين، يعني بتفسر الحديث ما شاء الله كانك باكي قاعد هناك، كانك باكي قاعد هناك وحاضر القصه وحاضر كل التعليله يا شيخ حسين، وانها اوجعها وشفتها وتألمت، ويعني بجوز مكانك خاطر تاخذها على الامر الجنسي. ها يا زلمه يا زلمه يا زلمه، العلماء كلهم كل اللي فسروا الحديث اوكي، ولا واحد كان ضربها، كل واحد فسر طريقه مناسبه للحديث يعني تتناسب مع الحديث.
He's saying here that all of the scholars all say that it wasn't the way I'm describing. But you know what? It's so clear. It's so plain what happened, and so obvious what happened. And I'm just reading to you. What is written in your books. And I'm kind of glad that it's bothering you. I'm kind of glad that you bothered you to where you went and looked at it. Like the story of Ikrama, where there was Rifa and his wife came, and she was so green from the beating that she got from her husband. And you know, and I'm glad that you are listening and that you are looking into it yourself and um, finding out these issues. And I just want to end with this one particular one particular issue. Okay, I want to talk about one particular issue, and that is this hadith that you told me today. Inta li qultilli an hadith hadith. Aisha said the messenger of Allah never beat any of his servants or wives, and his hand never hit anything. I could show you hadith where it proves that that's not true. But I could show you hadith where he did hit people, but this contradicts what she said in the other hadith. In the other hadith, she said, فَالْهَدَنِي فِي صِدْرِي وَالْهَزَّ أَوْجَعَتْنِي. He hit me in my chest, and the blow hurt me, or falhazani, or shook me, whatever, or he slapped me, however you want to say it. Falhadani. They translate that in many different ways. And the main thing is you get to the same conclusion, which is ojagni, which means it hurt me. It hurt me, and regardless of how what you say, if it was a slap, if it was a punch, if it was a push, al-hadani, fal-hadani, the main thing is you get back to the same conclusion, which she says, ojagni, it hurt me. Aisha said this. And so then you got this other hadith that you brought. It's also a sahih hadith. And it says, Aisha says, the Prophet never hurt anything, any of his wives, never beat any of his servants or wives, or his hand never hit anything. You say that. And you know what? It's very clear what's happening here. And that is that there's a contradiction. And there are many contradictions in the hadith. There are many contradictions in the Quran. And so one time she says he never hit anything. The other time she says he hit me. So which one is it? And it caused me pain. So which one is it? and you brought this other hadith, and I'm glad that you're looking. I'm glad that you're researching it, but you know, you can't eliminate, you can't deny that these other hadiths are in your books. These other hadiths are in Sahih Muslim, in Sunan al-Nisa'i. These are all sahih hadiths. They're authentic hadiths. You can't deny them. And so there's a contradiction between them. One of them says, he hit me and it caused me pain. The other one says he never hit anything. And is it my fault that there's a contradiction? Your problem is not with me. Your problem is with Aisha. Because one time she says he never hit nothing, another time she says he hit me. And they're both narrated by Aisha. And so, you know what? You got a contradiction. Muhammad said, خُذْ نُصْ دِينكُم مِّنِ الْحُمَيْرَةِ, from Aisha. Take half of your religion from her. So, your problem is not with me. Your problem is with your books. Because your books, on the one hand, say this, on the other hand, it says that. And here, you pointed out you brought a very good point here, is that you presented a very good contradiction. Tanaqud. Shay wa naqidu. I mean, these are absolutely two opposite things. And you brought it up, and it's very good that you brought it up. But it's not my problem. I'm just showing you what's in your books. And the problem is with your books, with what Aisha said. If she said this and she said this, that's a clear contradiction. How you harmonize that is up to you. But it's very clear that there is a contradiction here. On the one hand, she says, the messenger of Allah never beat any of his servants or wives, and his hand never hit anything. But over here, she says, فَالْهَدَنِي فِي صِدْرِي وَالْهَزَّ أَوْجَعَتْنِي. He did something with his hand on my chest, push, punch, slapped, however you want to translate it, and it hurt. So which one of these is right? I don't know, but anyway, you said that I haven't shown you the context, that I'm saying it wrong, and I just wanted to respond to you, and let me see if I can. I'd like to play it from here, because I'd like to I'd like people to hear it more clearly, because it's a little bit clearer when I play it on the computer here. Let me go ahead and let me go ahead and do this. Let me go ahead and get it. Let me open it in Messenger here so that I could play what you said, because it's a little bit clearer so you could hear it. Okay, let me play it for you here.
انت طريقتك تجيب بتقول الحديث ان ضربها اوجعني فقد اوجعني. طيب هو ممكن يعني انها اوجعها هي، عارف كيف؟ بس
يعني he says, well, maybe he hurt her, but that's the whole point. ممكن هو اوجعني, he اوجعت. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, but that's the whole point, is that he hurt her. The whole point is that he hurt her. That's the problem, is that he hurt her. He shouldn't hurt her. Should never hurt your wife. He hurt her.
انت ما قلتش نص الحديث او
He says, I didn't say half of the hadith. I read the whole thing to you.
ليش صار هيك او شو السبب.
I told you why. He says, you didn't say the whole hadith. I read the whole thing.
او كيف الفكرة، او بس انت ركزت على ان ضربني والحديث بكلش ضربني by the way.
And he's saying here that the hadith doesn't say he hit her.
الحديث بتقولش هو ضربني، بس انت بتقول يعني ضربها.
It says the hadith doesn't say he hit her, but I'm saying that he hit her.
أوجعها. بعدين أصريت على كلمة أوجعني عشان ما فيش كلمة ضربني، فبدك كلمة أوجعني.
He says, and so you focused on the word it hurt me because you couldn't find the word hit me. So you said you focused on it hurt me. Yes, I did focus on it hurt me because regardless of how you want to say whatever Muhammad did, it ended up hurting her. And that's the whole point. And the point is Aisha is the one who said it. Aisha is the one who said it hurt her. So yes, that does matter. Yes, that is the point. Exactly, that's the point.
طب أنت بتعرف شو معنى أوجعني باللغة العربية الفصحى؟
He's asking me if I know what أوجعني or it hurt me means in Arabic.
تعرف شو معنى أوجعني؟ أو هي كيف أخذتها؟ كيف الوجع بالنسبة لها صار؟
Or how did she get it? Or how did the pain happen to her? Well, it's very clear. It says that he did something with his hand. He did something with his hand. He slapped, he pushed, or he punched, or he poked. I don't know.
عرفت؟ بتعرف بس أنت بدك تركز على كلمة مشان تستدل فيها.
And he says that I want to focus on a word just to try to find proof in it. That's exactly right. How can we know anything if we don't know the words? And when she herself says, it hurt me, of course that's going to be the focus. Of course I want to...
وطريقتك في النص الحديث يعني إن أوجعها كأنك باكي هناك وشفتها كيف توجعت وتألمت وحزنت عليها وشفقت عليها يا شيخ حسين، يعني بتفسر الحديث ما شاء الله كأنك باكي.
And he's saying, and you talk as if you're there and you're seeing it with your own two eyes and you're feeling sorry for her and you want to take her to the emergency room. But you know what, Nasser, I'm not the first one to ever read this. It would have been better if this wasn't in the hadith. I wish it was. I wish it wasn't in the hadith. I wish it wasn't in the hadith. But for some reason it is. And it's in the most authentic. I wish it wasn't. You know why I wish it wasn't? Because I'm so scared for other women. I'm so scared for other women who are going to be beat, who are going to be hit, because Muhammad did it to Aisha. Because Muhammad hurt Aisha. That's why I'm scared. I wish this wasn't. I wish it wasn't in the hadith. يا ريت مش هذا ما كانش في الحديث. لكن هي في الحديث أنا وريتك. So anyway, let's go back to his comments.
باكي قاعد هناك كأنك باكي قاعد هناك وحاضر القصة وحاضر كل التعليلة يا شيخ حسين، وإنها أوجعها وشفتها وتألمت ويعني بجوز بقالك خاطر تاخذها على الأمرجنسي ها؟
He says you're sitting there as if you're watching it and she's in pain and you're focusing on the fact that she's in pain. Yes, I'm focusing on the fact that she's in pain. That's the whole focus, is that one word which I put here, Oja'atni. That's the whole focus. That's the whole focus, is that he did that to her. So yes, you're right. That is, I am focused on that. That is my concern, and my concern is for others.
يا زلمة يا زلمة يا زلمة، العلماء كلهم كل اللي فسروا الحديث اوكي، ولا واحد كان ضربها، وكل واحد فسر طريقة مناسبة للحديث يعني تتناسب مع الحديث مع الكلام الحديث، إلا أنت الوحيد ما شاء الله عنك سيبويه فسرت بالضرب وبالوجع ما شاء الله.
It keeps focusing on that word waja. And I'm not the one who put that word waja in there. I'm not the one who used that word waja. مش أنا اللي حطيت الكلمة وجع. هذا في حديثك. هيوتو فالهذني في صدري لهزة والهزة أوجعتني. أوجعتني، مش أنا كتبت الكلمة أوجعتني. هاي كلمة هان. He hurt her. That I'm not the one who put that word in there. أوجعتني. مش أنا حطيت الكلمة هذه. أيوتها في الحديث. يا ريت هي مش في الحديث. I wish it wasn't in the hadith. يا ريت هي مش في الحديث، لكن هي في الحديث. أوجعتني محمد ضرب عائشة. أوجعتني. ولا هو he slapped her or he punched her or he pushed her. He did something and the result was أوجعتني. هذه النتيجة. يا ريت it wasn't in the hadith. أتمنى إنه ما يكونش في الحديث.
يعني هبت فيك النعرة وبدك تشتد يعني سيدنا عائشة، ها؟ لك خاطر. بعدين لو ضربها زي ما بتقول، ليش ما قالت لقد ضربني؟ ها، ليش ما قالتش كلمة ضربني؟ يعني بالك هي بتعرفش كلمة ضربني ولا هي عامية بتعرفش ولا جاء؟
Okay, now he's saying, why didn't she use the word hit me? Why didn't he use the word ضربني? الضربة. اضرب. And you're opening a can of worms there. You're opening a can of worms there. Because the word ضرب, اضرب, is in the Quran. And so I don't even want to go there. It's so painful. It's so painful to talk about it. The fact that the Quran does say that Muhammad was only doing what's in the Quran, chapter 4, verse 34. So, anyway.
جاهلة في اللغة العربية. ليش ما اختارت كلمة ضربني لعاد؟ ليش ما قالت ضربني؟ مشان تثبت قصتك يا حسين، مشان تأكد لك إن الرسول عليه السلام ضربها، مشان اللي زيك اللي بتصيدوا وبدهم بس شغلة، عارف كيف؟ هيا نص واضح وصريح إن هيا ضربها. عمي شو ضربها؟ حتى ضربها بتفسرها أنت، بتفسر كلمة ضربنا هي beat me. طب هي معناها هي ضربني beat me؟ لا مش beat me. تعرف شو معنى beat me؟ اوكي، الضرب مش معناها beat me. اوكي، بتفسر زي ما بدك، عارف كيف؟ والناس عارفين كذبك يا زلمه، مش الا هذا الكذب. انت بتسوي القصه زي ما بدك. You fabricate it the way you want it. That's why بقول لك كذاب.
You know, نعم، فالهزني في صدري والهزة أوجعتني. I didn't write that. I didn't put that in the hadith. This is attributed to Aisha. And you call me a liar, but this is what's written. I don't think you should follow a man like that. I don't think you should follow a man who does something like that. I don't think he's a good example for humanity. So that's what I'm thinking. You sent me all these comments. I wanted to respond to you. That's why I did this late night live stream. God bless you. I know you're angry with me, but you know what? Your problem isn't with me. Your problem is with your books, because your books say these things. This is what your books say. Sunan Nasa'i, Sahih Muslim. Go ask your sheikh about these books. They're the ones that say these things. So anyway,